Welcome into another episode of Outside Shots, though an abbreviated one, because we're not going to go for very long today, and there's a specific reason for it. But we will give the people what they want here to start. EJ, the Suns have won 2 in a row, and they've done it in pretty convincing fashion, especially last night beating Wemby and handing the Spurs their first loss of the season. Your overall takes on what you've seen the last couple games.
Well, energy, Saul, just energy, man. This team playing with energy, purpose, uh, excitement. I think Book is back to being that Devin Booker that we were so used to seeing. And defense, a connectivity because of the hierarchy of the team. I think over the last few years, it's been disappointing because the hierarchy just hasn't blended well. Right. So it goes back to even the years where they were winning a lot of games and they went to the finals. It was pretty obvious from a talent perspective that DeAndre Ayton should have been the second best player on the team definitively and maybe given Book a run for his money because of his talent. But yet he couldn't live up to that.
Yeah.
Inconsistency, frustration thrown at him because of it, perceived laziness at times. And what it does is it affects the best player, which was Devin. And then over the last few years, the injuries, right? You got 2 alpha dogs in Devin and KD, whereas Devin said, okay, I'm going to take second fiddle. And I don't think that's an embarrassment. Kevin Durant is arguably, 10 greatest players of all time. And that didn't go smoothly, right? And then the addition of Bradley Beal, who couldn't stay healthy, I thought really threw a monkey wrench in it. Although people can rip Bradley Beal all day, he was our most efficient player last year. He just didn't get on the court. It just didn't work. So the normal hierarchy of just the alpha dog being by himself, and then you get a lot of number 2s and 3s. Sometimes it tends to flow. And we're seeing that in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is a perfect example where Shea is head and shoulders above everyone else. And then you got Jalen Williams, who's second, right? But he's not always second. Chad Holmgren can argue as second. And then they get along, right? They play fluidly together. Then you got the other guys that can step up when they need to, right? Asia Mitchell, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's been playing lights out. So I think that's where we back to now, and it looks good. And now the next potential tremendously gifted player that comes to the Suns, now, they're going to really make sure that he can blend well with Book. And I think that's the key.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I'm looking forward to Jalen Green coming back.
And Jalen Green probably can be that person.
Yeah, he probably can. And, I know that's going to be a big lift for the Suns. But listen, man, I think if you just look at it for what it is, yeah, they've had some hiccups, like on the road at Utah. They probably should have won that game, and they shouldn't have been down as much as they were through the duration of it. But to bounce back against that same team a few days later and be able to really stomp on them the way they did, I thought that was a very encouraging sign that they've learned a little bit along the way. And then last night against Wemby, I thought that they had a really good plan. They held them, as good as anybody you could hope hold them to that scoring output. And so I just overall, I've been pleased. So we just wanted to make sure we acknowledge that the Suns have won 2 games in a row, since we had to acknowledge their lack of winning the last couple weeks. But with that being said, obviously, listen, life gets in the way sometimes. Things get in the way, and EJ is probably one of the busiest guys out there. My new role in life has taken me in a very busy direction, to where my schedule has been pretty crazy, and you guys have probably noticed that we haven't been on as consistently as we would hope here in the last several months, really. But we want to make sure that if we're going to jump on this show, we're going to do it justice. And I think because of the coordinating schedules, and honestly, for me personally, there's a couple other factors as well that I won't get into right now. But I think it's a good time to just kind of
Here's
hang it
one
up.
from Utah.
And so this will be the last episode of Outside Shots here for the foreseeable future. Who knows what happens down the road? EJ's got ideas of other things in life, I'm sure, and maybe we'll cross this bridge once again down the road. But uh, you can never guarantee anything in life, and I think what they say. You want to make God laugh? Tell him about your plans. That's kind of the way I think about this kind of thing. And EJ, listen, it's been fantastic to do this for almost 4 years now with you, and it's been listen, man, it's been a dream. It really has. It's been a dream come true. You like I said to you before, you were the very first poster I ever got. Period. Point blank. My dad forced me to get a Eddie Johnson poster. I said I want a Kevin Johnson. He told me I need to get Eddie Johnson because Eddie Johnson's a better player. And so I got the Eddie Johnson poster and put it up on my wall. Um, and now to be able to do a pod with you the last several years and get to know who you are and the tremendous individual and the type of person you are. And I've learned a lot, not only just by doing this podcast with you, but even off the court, in terms of the different things that you've been involved with, the charity wise, and just your overall demeanor. It means the world to me. So it's been an honor.
Yeah, thanks, bro. And I pretty much second everything that you said. We've had a tremendous run here, and it's not over. Things don't end. We're just discontinuing it for a bit. And our connection was really good from the beginning, and that's important to me because I have a certain way about me and how I do things and say things, and you were able to blend in just seamlessly in that regard. So, for the people out there, this has nothing to do with Saul and I. Has nothing to do with that at all. It's more so, I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm trying to like calm some things down. Yeah, I do feel good. I feel like I'm 40, but I am doing a lot of stuff right now. Obviously, people you all know in regards to the Suns, I still travel a lot with them. And then I have a 3 hour radio show 5 days a week, Sirius XM NBA radio. It's on not only just the radio, for you all that didn't know, but we're also on the NBA app where you can see it video. But more importantly, it's on NBA TV. So you can turn on NBA TV in 2 to 5 every day, Arizona time, and you'll be able to see our 3 hour NBA radio show. So, yeah, that's kept me pretty busy here. But, when it's all said and done, when I kind of scale back from the Suns, and that's going to happen here, sooner than later, then I will have that opportunity to venture back into the podcast industry and we'll knock a home run, Saul and I. And so that's my goal. But until then, you can always, follow me at JumpShot8 on Twitter, JumpShot8 on Instagram. And EJ, I always had a TikTok account. I just didn't use it.
Yeah.
I just didn't use it. But EJ's going to start doing his little TikTok account. So you can imagine how crazy I'm going to be on that. But that's Jump Shot 008. Okay. So Jump Shot 008 on my TikTok account. So That's what we'll be doing, and I'll probably have Saul on my TikTok, and he and I can be going at it. So, and do it that way as well. So, yeah, this is, look, PHNX. Thank you for giving me the opportunity and wanting to partner with me and create this podcast. And again, down the line, PHNX, if you want to make Eddie squirm, you know how to do it. Okay. All right. Just you know how to do it. If you want to make Eddie squirm and think, you know how to do it. And I would say that to any company, right? So
Yeah.
that's your prerogative. That's your prerogative and how you want to do things. But yeah, best of luck though. Best of luck with all the things that PHNX does. And Saul, to you as well, man. I know you're really busy now. You big time executive. So, you gotta, and make that executive money so I can take it on the golf course.
I'm trying, man. I'm really trying, and
Mm.
that's the listen. I think the last couple years, really the last year, has probably been the most difficult of this iteration of my life. Like the last 10 years, I've been kind of learning how to get into the sports space and getting into the sports space, and now here and doing things that I could only dream of when I was a kid. Um, and it's been fun. It's been really fun, but there's also a lot of negatives to that as well, when it comes to how people come at you all types of sideways on social media. As I mean, you get it all the time as well. There's been a couple instances in the last in the last year where a lot of spotlight in very negative ways to just daily life and covering the Suns. And I sent a message in our Discord, just thanking them for the support over the years. And one of the things I said was, when I got onto this Suns journey, I've been a Suns fan since I was a little kid. But to be in the podcast space or the media space, it started with Espo, on Solar Panel, and Dave King, and God rest his soul. And it was fun. Even when we were a trash team, it was fun. And then we made that run to the finals, and it got even better. And it was just like we were on cloud nine. And then PHNX launches, and it was fantastic. And I got to do that show with people that I truly love, still love. I actually talked to Lindsay the other day, and she's doing great. And it's just one of those things. But with that comes a lot of volatility when things don't go right, because people invest in people. And there's been a couple of those situations that have happened over the course of the last year, and because of that, I've gotten some hate my way. I've Espo, man, Espo's been through it. It's
Mm.
been really, really bad for how people have conducted themselves with him, and it's just completely unwarranted. It just really is. So,
It's
so
just, can I add something to that? It's just sad. It truly is because and it's not any different than what it was in the past. You just didn't have a vehicle to reach people. Okay, so back when Eddie was playing in the prehistoric days, as a lot of you all like to call it, you didn't have many ways to get to us. The only way you could get to us is actually show up at a game and boo us and heckle us. And trust me, back in the 80s, they did all the time. People came to really express their frustration with us when we were actually at the stadium, because they never really had any kind of vehicle or way to get to us.
yeah,
Now you do. Like you do through social networking, you can get to us. And to me, it's cowardly. It really is. It's cowardly because you're in a basement somewhere, you're in your dark room, laying in your bed, and all of a sudden you get on your phone and you're going at people and you're saying things that ordinarily you would never say to their face. I guarantee
yeah,
you. Now I know it's some different kind of people out there that probably feel comfortable to walk up on me and say something, or walk up on Expo, or walk up on Saul, or anyone else that's in the media medium, right? I'm sure it is. But a lot of you would not dare do it. Okay. And just think about how you conduct yourself in that situation, but yet you want somebody to treat your family with respect. If
Mm.
somebody goes up to your family and says some of the things that you guys say, then you would be what? Ticked off. But since it's not you, you're fine. You think you can hide out and do it. But no, it comes back. It comes back. Trust me. The technology now can find you. Trust me. Mike Woodson, good friend of mine. The reason why he quit the Indiana Hoosiers basketball job is because he started receiving death threats. All right. Like he was the one taking jump shots, and he stepped away from his job. And then he went to the University of Indiana. He left there as the all-time leading scorer. He loved that school, but he had to leave because somebody was sending threats. And you know what happened at the end? And I don't know if Mike would want me to say this, but I'll say it. They found the guy. The FBI found the guy that was doing it. And he was facing multiple years in prison. You know what Mike Woodson did? Mike Woodson met with him and his family. This young man was just finished law school, okay? Met with him and his family and told him how he felt and gave him a chance. He dropped the damn charges. And his family fell down crying like little babies. So you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful in how you conduct yourself in this space. And I know a lot of you dealing with emotion. It's not our fault that you gamble and you lose money. It's not our fault. No one is taking your credit card and telling you what to bet on. No one is. So just be careful, man, because now you can't hide. They'll find you. Trust me, they can find you because no one thought they could find this guy down in, I think he was, I'm not going to even say the state he was in, but they found him. And guess who found him? Not the FBI, no, Mike Wilson's daughter found him because she is good at finding stuff on the computer. Isn't that
Hmm.
amazing? So just be careful. You got to be careful what you say. I don't mind people going at me. They can go at me all they want. But if you curse me, then I block you. That's all. My feelings aren't hurt. I just block you because I don't curse anybody on social network and I don't threaten anybody. Yeah, I got names for people, but they're fun names. They're not names where I'm testing your intelligence or ripping you as a
Yeah.
person. It's just, it's a fun thing to say in my mindset. That's it. But you got to be careful, man. Like, people have lives and they have families. And if you are going to bring that stuff into it, it is not good, man.
Well, I mean, you mentioned death threats. You know what I mean? Like that's like I still got death threats. You know what I mean? Like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like what are we doing here? It's just anyway. I didn't want to divert from
No,
what
but
we
I think it's
but
educational. So I
but
think people should know and understand that
I don't
because,
think I don't think a lot of people realize like all the stuff that goes on.
yeah,
And listen, I didn't either when we started this. You start to learn the business side of things, and you start to get into this, that, and the other, and you realize how emotionally invested people are into people and in the shows. People are invested into, to PHNX and the people that are at PHNX, into us as well, and the players and all that stuff, right? And then you have those few people that they go over the line and they get so emotional that they say things that they normally wouldn't say or would never say to your face for sure, and it's just unfortunate,
why
but I
they're
digress.
emotional.
Yeah, it's very
They're
emotional.
emotional because they did something to put them in that space.
Yeah,
Like you didn't do anything to put them in that space.
yeah,
Expo didn't do anything to put them in that space. No, you did. And now you're upset. Right. So now you get on and you're upset. So you want to rip people, or your life is not where you want it at the one particular point in time. And then that's your way of going at people, right? Going at athletes that want to bring up their money and they don't deserve what they get and all of that. Yeah, they do. They
yeah.
worked hard to put themselves in that space. Equal opportunity in this country. That's the last thing I thought, and that's it. And they put themselves in position to go get a contract. Why didn't you do it?
Yeah.
Why didn't you get up off your ass and go do it? Seriously. You guys be careful in how you describe things and talk to people. It's just not good, man. And so yeah, it's just we all need to be better in that. I showed the video of Giannis traveling, and I know we're gonna go in a little bit. I showed that video of Giannis traveling. I wish we had it right now to show it again. And the dude took 5 steps. He took 5 steps. So all I said was, hey, in 1989, I averaged 22 points in 29 minutes. If I was allowed to take that many steps, I would have averaged 30. That's only 8 more points. If I was allowed to run, because think about it, when a defender is guarding you and you're coming off, in their mind, they know how many steps you can take. So they're judging about what they need to get to the space to challenge you. Well, if I could take 3 extra steps, I'm around them or I'm away from them to get my shot off. So, yeah, 8 points, that's nothing. And people killing me. Like it went viral, and you get these people that's ripping me and talking about I was nothing, I couldn't play. I scored freaking over 20,000 points in my career, counting playoffs, and I can't play because I said that. That is a prime example of just envy, jealousness, sadness, not liking yourself. Because if you got the audacity to tell me I couldn't play, and I scored over 20,000 points, which means only maybe in the history of the game, maybe 40 people, 45 people have done in the history of the game. That's the part I'm talking about. It's just downright dumb and hateful. And that's the part I think we all got to be better with. And it's sad that there's people out there that feel that way. And I got a ton of comments like that. So you go check out the tweet. And I just look. I'll respond to some of them and try to educate them, but I'm not responding with vitriol because I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah. No, listen, neither one of us are. Usually I just ignore those comments or I mute. I probably got so many I probably got more hate in my direction the last couple months, but I don't see it because I muted a lot of those people, and I think that saved my sanity for sure. And listen, it's sports. At the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun. It's about community and building up the community, but also on the other end of this is, you know, everybody's trying to do this the right way and trying to build this thing the right way. And hey, I believe we've done that with this show. I think it's been a fun show. We've gone on tangents. We've talked about feet. We've talked about your MJ stories that continue to go viral across the internet, which is kind of crazy. That thing just never dies. And in your insight, my perspective, like it's just been fun. So anyway, folks, we do appreciate you all for taking the ride with us for the last 3.5 years. It has been an experience, and it has been fun as hell. I wouldn't change it for a second. And like EJ said, maybe down the road we'll come back to this. And if we do, I will say this: if we do come back to this, it'll be in a different capacity, and maybe we won't be so. Listen, we're gonna tell it like it is a little bit more. I think we would say.
Exactly.
I think we would say that for sure.
The
So
Eddie Johnson that you all are going to see on his podcast, when I do a podcast, oh, yeah. You see, you've been knowing Eddie, okay? But you're going to meet Edward. And the only way that's going to happen is when obviously, I've retired from the Suns and not even retired from my radio show because, they allow us to say whatever we want. But I have to be very careful with the Phoenix Suns, and that's very respectful. We have a lot of tremendous fans out there, family oriented. And I'm not a guy that's going to be on a podcast cursing and saying some of the derogatory things that some guys say on podcasts, which I don't like at all. I truly don't. I'm not going to name them, but they know who they are. is just downright dumb. Some of the stuff and how they describe things and the words that they use, and just cursing without connected words. Just want to curse. Not all for that. But I'll be honest. I'll be honest. And you'll see a book come out too when I'm done. And you all know I'm an author. Just, my books, A Son's Revenge, is The Son's Revenge. Let me repeat that. And it's doing very well. Got a couple of people that's looking at it as a series now. So hopefully that comes through. So if you didn't get the book, go get it. I am telling you, it's an excellent novel, The Son's Revenge, and Eddie Johnson, Gary Ponzo. And so yeah, it's going to be one of those podcasts that I think people will like, and they'll meet Edward, okay, and not Eddie. Edward is my private name, okay.
I like to think of it as is you meet EJ here, but like when I go to the golf course, I meet Eddie. Like Eddie
You
EJ.
meet Eddie, but you gonna meet Edward. Edward is like to the extreme. That's the guy that looks like he's ready to fight and ready to and just argumentative to the tilt. But again, respectful,
Yes.
respectful, and that's the key part. You can hurt somebody's feelings by not uttering one curse word. And a lot of these guys do these podcasts, they don't understand that.
Yeah.
They don't. They think going at each other and cursing and saying derogatory words is the way to do it. And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about athletes. I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about actors. I'm talking about a lot of people out there in this space that have podcasts. I just think the way they speak and the things that they say, they can do it a better way.
Mm.
And so yeah, that's my mentality of the future, and it's not going to be far away. Trust me, Eddie can't keep traveling like I do and doing the things that I've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, love you, bro. I appreciate
All
your
right, love
time,
you too, bro.
and I'll be. I'm sure you'll hit me up to
Of
try and take your
course.
money. Until next time, folks. As always, don't talk about it. Be about it. We love y'all.
Later.